Hello everybody, it's the 20th of February today, and today I've decided I'm going to find something to go into this Cascade pot. I had two for Christmas that are almost identical in all except colour. This one is a very nice fetching blue, and I'm actually going to put this one back. I know I say I don't like leaving empty pots, but I actually fancy putting one of my Wisteria Cascade projects into this pot, but it's not really ready for that yet. I want them to develop a bit more, and so I'm going to put that to one side, and into this I have a hankering to put in this Cotoneaster that has been just sat growing just from a little cutting, and I haven't really done anything with it in some time except let it grow, and I think it might look quite nice in this pot. So that's what I'm going to do. Very little required to get it in there, and so we'll do that with as little further ado as possible. Drainage screen in the bottom. Excuse my elbow. Try not to waste any. That's the pot almost full, and an extra big handful of the controlled release fertilizer. Question is, can we get this pot off this tree out of this pot, off this pot, off this tree? Yes, we can. Okay, so I need to try and find a root base in the potting tray just to contain the mess. I'm not getting a huge amount of good looking nebari here, but this tree's got a lot of growing to get into this pot, you know, to fill this pot. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't even know if I know what I'm trying to say sometimes. So I'm just basically loosening these roots so that they can get out into the new soil more easily and don't sit there inside this root ball and sulk. It's a bit dark. It's such a gloomy, cloudy day, but there is a little bit of a root ball, for which we'll just have to take a root base, sorry, a root flare, which perhaps you'll just have to take my word for. Okay, that's not bad. I have some radiating roots, and some roots radiating mostly on this side, which is handy, which means I can kind of manhandle this tree into this pot, and should fit quite nicely. There are some wire scarring just here, so I don't know how well that's picking up, but that'll fade in time. Been having a sort of thought process going on. Do I want it to come out of the front of the pot, something like so, and then maybe put some bends into this? Do I want it trailing over the corner? But I actually think I'm looking at something like so, and then I may put a little bit of wire on. Yeah. So let me scoop. I need a little bit of soil under here. And then, in order to try and hold this tree in place, rather than wire from below, should prepare these things earlier, Sid. Yeah, I know. In order to try and keep this tree in place, let's try this staple. That should hold the tree relatively firmly in place, which is nice, and then I can just fill in around it. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Itchy and scratchy over there, Cooper-Doo. I don't know. You was the one doing all the itchy scratchy. You do pull some rude faces. Quite a rude dog. What was I saying about him being good company? Okay, so now then, before I do any more, find a piece of wire. I'm not going to keep the entire length of this tree, I don't think. Where am I? So maybe I'm looking at it and making a decision on the fly here, folks. I've got a piece of wire I know will, fairly certain, will bend this trunk. It's quite flexible material. So I'm gonna anchor that there. And work my way down. Well, I've wired it as if I'm going to the end, so we'll see. I've also pulled the tree out of the pot. Part of the issue is the wire is strong enough to hold the tree, but not the weight of the tree. If that makes any kind of sense at all. I may need to put a second piece on at the top here. Yeah. Not into anything particularly hugely I'm happy with that. Shorten it to about here. That's better. Okay. So the finished tree, let's just trim that back, and there we have it. I could do with a nice little pot for that, but I've used up the two kind of semi-cascade pots that I had, so I do have a smaller, very similar to this blue, that I might put this on. I'll do that off camera, so as not to bore you all entirely. But let me just grab it. I have this rather nice blue pot, which I think this tree could sit quite snugly and continue its development. Okay, so there we have it. That's the second one done. Just give you a quick 360. It's pretty boring from around the back, but we'll develop a little head on here, I'm sure. So that's another one done. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment away below, but most of all, please stay safe, everybody.